Fine. So hope everybody captured these details based on last session discussions. Invoice creation, that too manual invoice creation. We are not talking about invoice based on the PO. For invoice based on the PO, accounting is slightly different. That we will learn when we deal with the concept. As of now, manual invoice. And when you make the payment and after reconciliation of payment. So what are the accounting entries? We are talking about three different events: invoice creation, manual invoice creation event, payment is another event, reconciliation is another event. Also, we discussed based on the event which account system derives from which source. I'm just removing this data. Okay. Now we are going to see how to create the payment from payment workbench first. After that, we'll proceed with payment process request. So this is 42nd session. Go to payment workbench. Go to payment workbench. If you have already the payment workbench link in the favorites, you can access directly from here. We have find payments. You don't have create payments. That's okay. Go to payables. Click on payments task. So click on task pan. Click on create payment. Click on create payment. Now, if you look at this create payment page, the total data is classified into three parts. Here we provide details for which supplier we want to make the payment. Primarily, you can say to which supplier you want to make the payment, which supplier and which site. And here you can see by using which bank account and other payment related information. And below you have to select for which invoices you want to pay. Very simple. For which supplier, by using which bank account. Of course, the relevant information also available, but let's take a very high level summary. So for which supplier, by using which bank account, we can pay to which invoices. That's it. To whom, by using which bank account, for which invoices. That's it. So business unit is defaulting. The reason we have set default business unit profile option to ERP tree user. For ERP tree user, we have set default business unit profile option. So that is the reason we are able to see the business unit field or BU name. So that is reflecting in the invoice creation page as well as payment creation page. Even if you go to other applications from this user, our BU will reflect. Now, which supplier you want to process the payment? Select the supplier. Supplier name is Amex Corporation. Okay. Amex Corporation. Supplier name is Amex Corporation. Since we have only one site with the supplier, site system is defaulting. The site is created based on which address, the information you can see here. Now payment date. Okay, payment date. So this date system will print on the check. So we are making the payment today. So the same date system will print on the check. And we have a type called as quick. So it is nothing but you can call as payment type. Let's talk about payment type. So when we talk about payment type, so we have three different payment type: manual, quick, refund. The first one is manual. Second one is quick. Third one is refund. So when you talk about manual payment type, it's very simple. I write one check and I give it to my supplier. That means I'm not printing any check from the system. I have checkbook with me. I write one check and I'll give it to my supplier. If you are following such kind of process, that means you are issuing the check from outside of the system. You are not generating any check from the system. So what happens is the physical activity takes place outside of the system. First you issue the check, then you record that payment information in the system. So here in case of manual, first issue check to supplier, and second step record the same in system. Okay, outside of system we are writing the check and we are giving. We are not printing any check from the system. Okay, you are not printing any payment information from the system. So from outside of the system, you are issuing the check. You have checkbook with you, you are writing on the check and you are giving to your supplier. That is nothing but issue check to supplier and record to which supplier how much amount you given. That amount is against which invoices that you have to record in the system. That process we called as manual payment. So manually you are making the payment, means checks you are writing manually. Now another case, I don't want to write any checks manual process. I will insert the check in the printer. System should print the check. So that we call as quick. Say print check from system, and the same check will send to supplier. Then issue check to supplier. You print and you issue. When you are printing the check, that means you are recording the payment. You are recording the payment and you are printing and you are giving. Here reverse. You are issuing. After giving the check, you are entering the details in the system. But here, first you are making the payment. Then after making the payment based on that payment record, you are printing the check and the check you are giving to the supplier. And refund. It is not like we are giving the payment to supplier. Supplier is paying us as a refund. Say you give an advance. You give an advance to supplier, 1 lakh advance you given. You procure some material and there is no requirement to procure such kind of material from the same supplier. You can inform to the supplier saying that, so further I am not going to purchase anything. I paid 1 lakh, already used say 90,000. The remaining 10,000, please refund to us. That's how you may put a request. When you request the supplier, supplier will refund. When you receive the payment from the supplier, that amount you record by using the payment type called as refund. Okay, so it's like refund from supplier. Why supplier will refund? You already paid mostly advance. Okay, mostly you might have paid advance, or else by mistake you paid and that supplier is going to refund whatever it may be. When supplier is refunding the amount, that you can record in the system by using the payment type called as refund. So manual means we don't print any checks from the system. Outside you write the checks, the same information we record in the system. Quick means we print the checks from the system that we will send to supplier. In case of refund, nothing we are going to send, just we are going to receive. So these are the different payment types. Mostly this is the one which always you see as a in use. So mostly you don't see like companies writing and giving the checks when they are using the application. They make the payment from system based on that payment record. We print the checks. In the last session, we have seen once you make the payment, system is generating the payment file. By using the file, check printing will take place. So that's how it is. So by default, system is taking quick, accept the same so that we can print the check. And disbursement bank account. So that's all about the criteria. You want to pay from which business unit, means you want to make the payments from which BU for which supplier. When you select supplier, that is not enough. All the invoices will be available with the site, not just with the supplier. We create invoices against the site, not supplier level, site level, we create invoices. So which is site related invoice. See, if you look at here, only one site you can choose. Say this supplier has multiple sites, but at a time you can pay for only one site related invoices. So this is a payment date. The same date system will print on the check. Type, we want to generate the check from the system. We want to print the checks from the system. So type should be quick. And disbursement bank account. Okay. To which supplier, which site you want to pay, from which business unit, it is very clear. Again, what is the payment date and what is the type of payment? Those details we given in this section. Now, by using which bank account, which payment method, and which document, those details we have to specify here. So disbursement bank account, nothing but our bank account. By using which bank account we want to process the payment to our supplier, that we have to specify. So here, click on drop down. Now we are accessing this business unit. When you are making the payment, okay, when you are making the payment by using this business unit, only this bank account is associated with this business unit as a part of bank account setup. So select your bank account. If you remember, bank account creation time, we selected currency called as USD. At the time of bank account creation, we selected currency called as USD. That means this bank account is operated in only this currency. Now you can make the payments only in USD currency. If you want to make the payments by using different currency, same bank account, we have to do the additional configuration that we will see when we deal with the relevant topic. And payment method, okay, you can override. Okay, you can just override the payment method. So all the payment methods which are available at this supplier site level also you can see the payment methods. But this supplier site level, we have one default payment method we have set, that is check. Okay, so check. So system is defaulting check, you can change it. You can change it. Okay, so that's how it is. But make sure what are the invoices you select, that invoices has which payment method, select the same and same payment method. The system will look. Here we selected payment method check. When we are going to select the invoices here, so system will display the invoices which are matching with this payment method. Now select payment process profile. Our payment process profile is ERP3 standard. Now you no need to select remit to account. Remit to account means supplier bank account. We are going to issue the check. We are not going to issue any. We are not going to process electronic payment. So remit to account is not required. Supplier bank account is not required. Now we are going to issue the check. And what is the check number? To derive the check number, we have to select the payment document as a check, whatever we created at bank account level. The bank account level we created. So payment documents like check, cash, and electronic. Since we are selecting payment method as a check, okay, and again, primary filter is payment process profile. As per payment process profile, the processing method we have as a printed. That means these two options are coming. Choose check. Then system is allocating the check number. Already we used 1 lakh 1 lakh 2 check numbers. Now system is going to consume check number 3. Now I can select invoices here, the invoices which are created against this dollar sign. Don't think we can select invoices which are belongs to this supplier. Yes, this supplier only, but only specific to this site. You cannot see any other supplier related invoices, other site related invoices, only this supplier and this site, and which are created against this business unit. And where the invoices available with the payment method called as check. So this is the criteria system will look accordingly. It will filter the invoices. And again, the invoices which are created payment currency as a USD. Payment currency as USD. So whatever the invoice currency you provide at the time of invoice creation, same currency system will select as a payment currency. The moment you create invoice, so the currency what system you are providing, our system is selecting. Already we discussed from where system derives the currency. The invoice currency itself system will take as a payment currency. Let's try to create an invoice. We'll see how system will take currency. Now see, by default system is selecting amount in which currency, means it's invoice currency. If you go to show more, you see the same currency it is taking as a payment currency. Now I will select another currency. I'm selecting INR as an invoice currency. Same currency system is taking as a payment currency. Now, the invoices which are available payment currency as INR, those invoices only system will display based on the bank account currency. It will allow to process only INR. In our case, here payment currency for this bank account is available as a USD. That means the invoices, whatever you have, payment currency as USD, only for those invoices you can process the payment. When you are selecting invoices here, system will check which invoices are available with the payment currency as USD. Only those invoices can be processed by this bank account. That's how system will have a filter. Now just click on plus icon to select invoices which are belongs to the supplier site. Click on plus icon. We can see all the invoices which are unpaid. Okay, we can see all the invoices which are unpaid. Now say we want to process the payment for this invoice. Okay, 11, 22, 33, 44. That is invoice number. So I'm selecting here. You can see the due dates also. Okay, this invoice due date is in the month of July. Okay, so these invoices due date you can see. So because we use the payment term as a net 45. So we can pick any one of the invoice, no issues. I'm selecting this invoice and say apply. Click on OK. I can select multiple invoice, not only one invoice. Okay, I can select one more invoice, or else I want to select all invoices. You click here at this corner, it will select all. Okay, click here, it will select all the invoices. All selected, say OK. So this is how you can select one or multiple invoices. You can select one or multiple invoices. So all invoices belongs to same site. Okay, we cannot select any other supplier or same supplier, different site. So this is a criteria. This is how system will filter and it will display the invoices. Now, you can see the information, how much discount you are getting for each and every invoice, because we are paying early. Before due date, we are paying. And for all these invoices, what are the payment term we have that has discount terms. So we are going to get this much discount. Okay, for each invoice, how much discount we are going to get. And after discount, how much amount we have to pay. So the details you can see. If you are paying late payment, here system will display interest. Since you are making the late payment, how much interest is applicable. If you are paying early, how much discount you can avoid. So those details you can see here. So now we are going to make the payment for all these invoices by using single check. See here, only one check. So since we are using single check to process payment for one or multiple invoices for only one specific supplier, this we can call as single payment. Okay, only one payment, one check only. We are making only one payment, so that you may process for one invoice or multiple invoice. Document is only one. And already we discussed one document, one check you cannot use more than one site also. When you say you cannot use one check for more than one site, there itself you can understand one check we cannot use for more than one supplier also. Ideally not required, but just for alignment understanding, we are talking about it. So this is what we have to understand. Now you can process the payment for all or specific, right? Now I don't want to process payment for multiple invoices. I want to process the payment for only one invoice. We can choose only one invoice. I'm removing the invoices. So we want to process the payment for this invoice. Total invoice unpaid amount is 10,000. We are going to get 1,000 discount. And finally, we are going to pay so 9,000. Now, so when we are going to process the payment, okay, when you are going to process the payment for this invoice, yes, after discount 9,000 we have to pay. If you want to make the partial payment, yes, possible. From the invoice workbench, we selected pay in full. That allows only full payment. But if you are making the payment, the pay in full is the single payment. What we are processing also single payment. Only one document we are going to use. But the difference is, in case of pay in full, you have to pay the full amount. If you are going to make the payment from this page, you can make the partial payment. Now discount is 1,000, 9,000 we need to pay, but we don't have funds in our account. I want to pay only 5,000. So if I want to pay 5,000, just click on this record. It will open the field to update the amount. Just click on this selected invoice record. Now you see the amount, how much you want to pay, that you can input. I want to pay only 5,000. Okay, I want to pay only 5,000. If I want to pay 5,000, if I'm ready to pay 5,000, I'm getting discount also. So based on that alignment, after discount, how much amount you want to pay, that information you can specify and you can pay that amount. Okay, you are ready to pay 5. If you are ready to pay 5, you will get 500 discount. So this is how you can update the invoice amount, how much amount you have to pay, accordingly you can pay this. So let's process the payment for this invoice. So discount also will get. Now another important information, go to advanced tab. Go to advanced tab. Here I can enable the checkbox saying that account and post to ledger. I'll create the payment record. I'll go to the payment record. I'll submit for accounting. Instead of doing that, so here itself I can enable the action. So whenever I say create the payment record, automatically system will create accounting and it will post to ledger. And again, condition is if already accounting is available for the invoice, whatever you selected here, then only it will happen. You can enable the checkbox so that automatically system will create accounting and it will transfer the accounting to GL and it will post. Or else you can manually, you can take the action of accounting, or else you can run the create accounting program. See, now we have a three options. While recording the payment, you can enable so that system will create, or else after creating the payment, you can go to actions, click on post to ledger, or else third option is go to ESS job page and you can run the create accounting program. And whenever you make the payment, this payment information we want to print through printer. Say this instance is connected to the specific printer. So those details you can provide now itself. If you don't provide here, system will create the payment file. Again, you have to go and open the file and you have to submit for printing. But if you want to print the moment you create the payment, immediately you can specify the printer related information. Say print now. Okay, print now. So you can select the printer information here. So no printer is configured in this environment. That should be done by Oracle side. So just notice this point. We don't need to do anything. So we have to, ideally technical team will interact with the Oracle by raising SR, service request they'll raise, or else yes, even we can do that. They'll ask certain information that we collect from the client and to share. Then they'll configure the printer first. For us means for client. So these actions you can specify when you are making the payment so that it will create the payment and it will print it. If printer is not available, leave it. So these details, yes, you can specify. Now just go back to payment details. Now click on save and close. Check number is 1,03,000. Click on save and close. So that system will create the payment record. System will create the payment record. So payment with this check number 1,03,000 processed. How much? 4,500. Say okay. Now find out the same payment record. Go to manage payments and we process payment today and provide the check number. Search. Okay. Since the payment is not reconciled, it is negotiable by default. Now you can open this record. And you see accounting status is accounted. How it is accounted? During the payment process itself, we enable the checkbox. That's how system recorded payment as well as it triggered the accounting for this payment. And the other point we have to understand, system is able to create accounting for this payment. The reason already for the invoice, like whatever the invoice we have for this invoice, already accounting is available. If accounting is not available for this invoice, system cannot create the accounting for payment. Now, we came up with a discount concept in this payment. Since discount is eligible, system added updated discount information. When you create invoice and make the payment accounting entry is liability debit, cash clearing is credit for the total invoice amount. Now we have component called as discount. Let's see how the accounting entry is going to be. Okay, so system will take discount also into accounting entry. System will take discount also into accounting entry. Now just click on view accounting. So here you can see liability account is debited with a 5,000. That means liability is reversed with invoice. No more liability. And we paid 4,500, but check is pending for clearing. And why you paid 4,500 only? We have to pay, we are liable to pay 5,000, right? Supplier given 500 discount. So liability debit, cash clearing account is credit, and discount account is credit. Just notice this point. Now the question is, okay, now the question is, from where system is taking the discount account? From where system is taking the discount account? You can unmute and you can answer. If you are clear, you can answer. Otherwise, no need to give a try. Not required.
Common options.
Okay. From where system is taking the discount? Yeah, that is your answer. What about others? Very simple. Where we have seen discount account? Anyone? If you are not able to answer, I don't know what we are learning. What about others? From where system is deriving the discount account?
From payment options.
Payment options. Have you seen discount in the payment options? Have you seen? There are no trial and errors. If you are clear, you can answer. Otherwise, let others answer. Anyone, please.
From supplier side.
Okay. Yes, we have seen discount account supplier site level. What accounts we have seen at supplier site? Can you answer? Who answered this? What?
Liability.
Yeah.
Prepayment account and discount taken.
Liability, prepayment,
Prepayment and discount.
discount. What about bills payable?
Yeah, bills payable as well. Sorry.
But we have 3 accounts only at supplier site, right? Now it became 4. Yeah. So just please focus on these points. Very, very important. So when you claim tomorrow you have many years of experience, if you don't know the few accounts where we positioned and from where system is taking, it doesn't make sense. That is a very, very fundamental information. Okay. Very, very fundamental information. See, we are making the payment. We are making the payment. So you just go to, we'll just visit the 3 cases. Sorry? Any answer? Go to common options. So in the common options, we have mandatory account called as discount taken.
Payment terms.
Payment terms, sir. No, what you are answering. I am talking about from where system is taking the account. Do we have accounts also in the payment terms? Answer is no. We are talking about account. I'm not asking how system is taking the discount amount. I'm not asking. If I ask you on what base system is taking the discount, based on the terms what we specified in the payment term. In the payment term, we are giving the due date related terms, discount related terms. So then you can answer it is taking from the terms based on the payment terms. Now the question is not related to how system is calculating discount. From where system is taking the discount account. Yep, the question is clear. From where system is deriving the discount account, not how system is deriving the discount amount. So in the common options, we have discount taken account. Okay, now go to bank account. Go to bank account. HSBC account, click on edit. See, just why I'm taking you to these different pages means we should notice which account we are providing where. So we don't have any discount take related account in the bank account level. Now go to supplier side. So go to procurement section. Suppliers. Manage suppliers. Our supplier name is Amex Corp. Go to sites. Click on edit. Go to site assignments. Scroll little right. So we have liability account, prepayment account, bills payable account. That's all. So common options, we have accounts, supplier site level, we have accounts, and we have accounts at bank account level. Always think through what accounts we have where, and when you perform the transaction, from where it can take. If any account is available in the common options under supplier side, first it will give the preference to supplier side when if you provide the account. Otherwise, it will take from common options. Now we are very clear from where system is taking the discount account when you make the payment. From where it is taking?
From common options only.
Common
From
option. That's it. Yeah, this is how we have to just focus when you are learning. It is not like we are doing system is doing something and we are finishing. Tomorrow, if any question you cannot answer because you are not thinking, you are not analyzing. Very, very important. It is not like watching movie, we watch what happens and we have to think through. So what is coming from where, when you do some setup, where the setup will reflect, if you enable some checkbox, where that will provision something, if you provide some account, where that can be utilized, or else accounting entry is created, you can see entry. It is not like understanding what is debit and what is credit. That is the first point. Yes, you should understand what is debit and what is credit. That is not enough. From where it is taking debit account, from where it is taking credit account, the account is taking from the invoice or it is taking from some so and so source. These all you have to analyze. Then you can learn the things as required. Otherwise, just you are watching, you are understanding, and you are making note reading. That is also not enough. So just focus on these points. That will help us. Okay, fine. Let's proceed. So the final point what we derived is when you make the payment. So system never take discount account for invoice, right? Only payment. When you're making the payment, then there will be clarity to the system whether we are paying early or late. If you are paying early as per the discount terms, then system will derive the discount account from the common options and it will create accounting accordingly. So we have seen the accounting entry also. Discount is coming credit side. Liability debit, we have seen 5,000. So how much amount we paid after discount, that is crediting, that is cash clearing. And how much discount we got, that is also crediting. Fine. Done. So we'll go back. Let's go back. We'll just use favorites and find payments. And from this page, it's a manage payments, but you can use this manage payment also to create the payment. Yeah. Two purposes you can use. So manage payments. Want to find out the payments which we processed today. Maybe you can give supplier or else provide check number. Just click on check number, record will open. Fine. So if you want to view the accounting, yes, from here we can view the accounting. Yeah. So there are few actions we'll discuss. What is a void, etc. The issue. We'll talk about those later. Okay, so invoice and payment related accounting. Invoice we created, payment we processed, and we reviewed invoice related accounting and payment related accounting from where system is deriving, including discount also. We reviewed. Later we'll see like when you make the late payment, how system is going to derive the relevant accounts from where it will derive. We will understand all those points. Again, we have to do the additional setups in case of late payments, if interest is applicable. Now, so my requirement is I want to make the payment today, but I want to process the payment with a past date. Let's try to do that. So create payment, select supplier details, and select bank account details. Select payment process profile. Select payment document. And here I'll select the invoices. But my requirement is system should print past date. Now I'll try to select yesterday date. I want to print the check, but system is not taking. So it is just marking in red. So past date. Okay. So I cannot select. By default, okay, by default you cannot select. But business has a requirement. They want to issue the check with the past date. Means they want to print the check, okay, with this date, with the past date. So in that case, if you want system to allow you to process the payment with the prior to system date, okay. So today system date is 30th. If you want to process the payments with the past date, now I want to process the payment with the 31st. This is okay. The current date or system date and the future date, I can just make the payment. I can make. Now this 31st will be printed on the check. Otherwise, by default, when you are processing the payment, that system will use. Okay. So these points are very important when you are working for the client. Okay. If you are not finding why to play with this after all one field, no, you have to understand when you are working, these fields only will become enemies to us if you don't know how to deal with that. So if client requirement is they want to process the payment with the past date prior to system date, by default it is not possible. For that we have a provision in the payment options. So go to payment options. We can set within the business units payments can be processed prior to system date. If you set that provisioning, if you enable that relevant checkbox, yes, system will allow us to process the payment accordingly. Go to payment options. So make sure that is RBU only. Yes. Go to manage payment options. And within the payment options we discussed, we can set some controls and defaults. Mostly we don't have much control or defaults here. Only just currency. In case of foreign currency transactions, we use this that you can set primarily. And here is a checkbox. Allow payment date before system date. Allow payment date before system date. So enable that checkbox and say save and close. We are enabling this for which BU is important. So only within this BU only this is allowed. Now say save and close. Save and close. Now just come back to payment creation page. Now cancel. It cannot sync as you enabled. It needs some refresh. Now go back to create payment. Select supplier. Select Amex Corporation. So by default, system is deriving today date as a payment date. It is just defaulting. Our requirement is we want to pay with a past date. Accept it, because for this BU, we given the permission. Now it is accepted. With the past date also, you can make the payment. When making payment to the past date means you'll print the date on the check. So that's how it is. Okay. The past date I'm making the payment. So this invoice we paid partial amount only. The last payment we selected this invoice and we tried to pay 5,000. Of course, we got discount. Now remaining 5,000 we want to pay. Again, discount is applicable, but we are paying remaining amount with the past date. So save and close. That processed. So this is how we can process the payment with past date. Before system, prior to system date, you can process the payments. For that, you have to provision at BU level by using payment options. Right, that's how you can process. Now let's talk about payment process request. Okay, let's talk about payment process request. We have seen how to process the payment by using payment workbench. You may process the payment from invoice workbench by using the pay in full, or you may process the payment from payment workbench. The both are treated as single payment. Single payment means only one check, one document. By using one document, we are processing the payment. If you have a requirement of processing the payment to multiple suppliers at a time with the different checks, or else one site, one supplier, you want to process the payments across the supplier sites with the different documents, or still it may be you want to process the payment to only one supplier, but you want to automate, we can use payment process request. Okay, we have to create payment process request. It's all about payment automation. Okay, we can call it as automatic payments. Of course, Oracle is not giving the terminology as automatic payments, but you can understand like that. This is automatic payments. Fine. So how it works? How it works? So when you talk about payment process request, it follows 4 steps. Okay, the entire process can be executed by following 4 steps. You can call those as the 4 stages. When you want to process the payments by using the payment process request, the 4 stages are there. The first stage is selection. The payment process request will select invoices. How it will select, we'll discuss. Just try to understand what are the stages. First stage is it will select invoices automatically. Then the selected invoices, it will build. It will select what are invoices it will select. It will just confirm that selection. It will build those invoices. Then the same invoices, it will format for printing purpose. Then finally the formatted invoices, it will confirm. So confirm is the final stage where invoice records will turn into payment records. The payments records will be created. So first system will select invoices, then it will build, means whatever invoice got selected. So it's like there we can review and you may modify system selected invoices, and before it will take it forward to format which are required for printing purpose based on your payment what you are going to process. System will build, it will just confirm those selection. So how this build can be useful? System selected, it build. You may proceed for confirmation format, or else whatever system built, you can modify. Say system selected few invoices, you want to remove few, you want to add few, and whatever invoices system selected, you want to modify the amount. One invoice system selected with 1 lakh, but you want to pay only 25,000. Yes, when invoice are standing at build phase, you can do the amendments. You can change the selected invoices, you can remove or you can add additional invoices, or else in the selected invoice you can update the amount, how much amount you want to pay, because you are not ready to pay the full amount. So this is how you can work on these various stages. The very important point is how system can select invoices automatically. How system can select invoices automatically. For that, we'll give certain criteria that we will see in the system only. So we will tell to the system, the criteria could be select so and so supplier invoices. I'll give the supplier name, that's it. I'll give the supplier name to payment process request. Then payment process request will pick the invoices belongs to only that supplier. Or else I can give criteria as payment method. I'll give payment method as a check to payment process request, and system will select all the payment, all the invoices which are available with that payment method. Or else I may give some other criteria. Or else I may give some other criteria. Or else I don't give any criteria. I don't tell to the system. I don't tell to payment process request, select invoices which are available with the payment method as check, or select invoices which are available with the supplier. Nothing I am going to specify. I leave the criteria as a blank. Then system will select all the invoices, all the eligible invoices. Eligible invoices means the invoices which are validated and available for payment. So system will select those invoices. System will select those invoices. That's how the criteria you can set that we will look into the system. So before we proceed with that, let's try to understand one concept which already we discussed as a pay group. So we discussed pay group for payment purpose. With the pay group, you can group the suppliers and you can process the payment. The pay group also you can use in the payment process request. So already we discussed. Okay. So say you have a supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3. Okay. You have multiple suppliers. And these suppliers you are grouping. Okay. I'll say like supplier 1 is foreign supplier, 3 also foreign supplier, 6 also foreign supplier, supplier 2 is domestic supplier, domestic, local, local. Say as per my business, I classify the suppliers as a foreign and domestic. That's it. Or else I may classify as a raw material supplier, finished goods supplier, and service related supplier, or utility suppliers, etc., government suppliers, etc. So I can classify the suppliers for my payment purpose. Now what I will do is, if I use the foreign, this I call as a pay group. Whatever the classification I'm giving, I call it as a pay group. Now if I use F, when I'm going to submit payment process request, F means it's a foreign supplier pay group. Now system will look, F is associated with which supplier. For all those suppliers, the same pay group will be applicable. So now it will pick invoices which are belongs to S1, supplier 3, and supplier 6. That's how you can use the pay group. Okay, that's how you can use the pay group. So we have a variety of the criteria to select in the payment process request. You may give criteria as a supplier name, you may give criteria as a payment method, you may give criteria as a pay group, and there are a lot many other criterias we'll see when we are submitting payment process request. So before that, before we jump into this payment process request for our testing purpose, okay, let's create the pay group and how it works. Let's try to understand. Okay. So if you want to create the pay group, okay, if you want to create the pay group, what process we have to follow, we'll see. Just create a group and assign to supplier. Okay, it comes under setup. Okay, it is not a process, right? So it is separate concept. So if you want to deal with the pay group, create the pay group and assign the pay group to supplier so that the pay group you can use when you process the payments by using payment process request. When you process the payments through payment process request, you can use pay group as one of the criteria. Okay, one of the criteria. Fine. So hope you captured this. There is no other option you have to capture if you want. Fine. So let's see how to create the pay group. So we are creating kind of companies, departments, accounts by using the chart of accounts. That means we are creating those values in the respective chart of accounts and we are reusing. We are using whenever we want to create the transaction. That means we are predefining companies, departments, accounts information. We are predefining. We are predefining that we are using every time. Now, in the system, if you want to maintain pay group, if you want to maintain pay group in the system, you have to predefine the pay groups. Where you can predefine your company's departments, accounts within the chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, you can predefine. The same way, where you can predefine the pay groups, where you can predefine that we call as lookups. By using the lookups, that is separate setup, like chart of account is separate setup. In the same way, the setup name is lookups. By using the lookups, we can create the pay groups. What do you mean by lookup? What purpose we can use the lookup? What purpose you are using chart of accounts to maintain company, department, account information you are using, but overall you can say that information you are predefining. For that purpose you are using chart of accounts. To create and maintain company's department account information, you are using chart of account. That means you are predefining. You are defining and one time and you are using. In the same way, so lookups also we use for the purpose of to predefine the information. To predefine certain data, we use it. One of the best example is pay group we are talking. Okay. What do you mean by lookup? By using the lookups, we can predefine the data. Means we can define something, we can create something, we can reuse it whenever it is required. In lookups, I create the pay groups that I will use whenever I create the invoices, or else I can set for supplier. I will assign to supplier. With that supplier, whenever I create invoice, same pay group is applicable. If I select the pay group during the payment process request, system will select all the invoices which are associated with the same pay group. We will see in the system, then it would be more clear. So when we discuss directly here, all the dots may not connect. Let's wait. Try to understand what you can understand before we go and create it. Okay. So pay group to group the suppliers for payment purpose. Processes, we create the pay group and we assign the pay group to supplier. And where to create the pay group? By using the lookup or lookups. What do you mean by lookup? by using the lookup, we can create the predefined information. Here, what is a predefined? Pay groups. That's it. Let's see in the system. So for every application, you can create the lookups. Every application, you can create the lookups. So very simple. We are talking about predefined. We are talking about predefined information. Now I'll go to create payment page. Now the payment types are predefined. These are all created by lookups by using Oracle. By Oracle used lookups and they created all this. And if you go to invoice creation page, if you go to invoice creation page, invoice creation page, here we see invoice types. These also Oracle created by using the lookup. So these also lookup values. The same way, we are going to create the pay group by using the lookup. To create the lookups, we have a separate task. For every application, we have a separate task. So we want to create lookup, which we are going to use in the payables application, right? Just search for payables lookups. Payables lookups. Go to payables lookups. Now select module as payables and search. Okay. Now here various lookups we have which are used in the payables application. Now just let's look for lookup which makes more sense for us, which will help us to understand very easily. Just wait for a minute. You just notice what various lookups we have for payables. And again, these all lookups we don't touch. So most of the lookups Oracle don't allow us to add any additional values. What Oracle is giving, the same we have to use. Many lookups. These are all like the lookups which you cannot modify, those we call as system lookups. Those we cannot modify. Many lookups we have means across the tables when you're dealing with the different pages, what you see in the drop down, those all are Oracle created here only. We cannot create. Few lookups you can add the values. Most of the lookups you cannot add anything because whatever you Oracle is adding, they'll write the coding for that, how it should behave, when it should appear, when it should not appear. So that's how they'll provide the some behavior to those. Many we have. There are the various lookups which we use across application, tables application. Okay. Just notice that many we have. So now we'll just look for lookup. So where invoices information, invoice types, we see from front end when you go to invoice creation page, you see invoice type, payment type. So that also available as one of the lookup. One of the lookup type is that. So whatever Oracle is providing there, that only will be displayed from the invoice creation, payment creation pages. Okay, so these are the various lookups. Now we just look for invoice related. I'll go with the invoice. Here is a lookup called as invoice type. Okay, invoice type. Select invoice type and scroll it down. Okay, you can see the credit memo. What you see all, it won't be available for us from front end. So how Oracle written the programming, few invoice types, whenever you create those, those only will be visible from front end. So you can see those. So credit memo, related expense report. Here you can search. Okay, like prepayment. Prepayment is available. Credit memo. The credit. And debit. And it's invoice request. It will, like when you create expense report in the expense application, that will come to payables as a invoice request. Standard invoice, right? So these all Oracle created here. This you cannot add. See here, plus icon is not possible. Okay, it is not enabled. You cannot create. You cannot create. You cannot create the new invoice types. Now, in the same way, like payment related, also you can see. See payment type. This we can see at payment workbench, right? When you create, you can see payment type. See manual, they given M, quick, Q, refund, R, and netting will come across. That is separate concept. When we deal with receivables, between the payables and receivables, that concept works. That time will come across with this. Okay, so it's a kind of payment request, payment process request. It will just again we will work on it. So when we are working on receivables, when we are going to process refunds to suppliers. Okay, refunds to supplier or just anything, like the request will come to payables application from different source. Okay, the request will come to payables to process the payments. Ideally, supplier from receivables, the request will come to payables when they want to refund payment to their customers. They as a part of receivables department is not possible. The request will come to payables only. From payables, we process the payment to customers as a refund. That is a payment process request, where you process the payments to any party. Okay, any party. It could be that case or other case. Ultimately, if you are going to, if you are getting a request to make the payment, so from other sources, this type of payment can be used. That won't be available in the drop down if you go to payment workbench. Based on the process, system will use here. They written the coding, netting and the payment process request should not be displayed when you go to create payment page. But this system will utilize when we are dealing with the concepts. That's how they written the program. Fine. So these all like we call as a lookup related information. This all Oracle predefined that we can use in the process. Now we are here to create lookup for pay group. So these also Oracle is not allowing. Just you cannot add any pay kind of payment types, right? Payment types, because each payment type they written a lot of coding. Accordingly, these lookup types will behave. Whenever you select this payment type, these are the lookup values we call. Based on the value, system will start behaving. That's how they develop the functionality. So that is the reason they don't allow us. It's not a simple value to select. There is a lot of functionality behind it. Now search for pay group lookup. Pay group. So here is the pay group. Lookup type is pay group, meaning is valid pay groups. Now here you can add lookup values. So you can create various values, how you want to classify the suppliers. How you want to classify accordingly you can create. How you want to classify accordingly you can just create, click on plus icon, create one lookup code as. So just for our identification purpose, I'll give the name as ERP tree. Okay. Foreign. Use the reference data set as a common, because at our BU level we have common only. Both should match. Then only from our BU you'll be able to access this data. And here meaning also you provide as a ERP tree. So you no need to give ERP tree company name here. The reason I am giving to differentiate the record. Reality, you don't need to give any company name. Directly you can create what kind of classification they have for the suppliers in terms of processing the payment. That's all. So this is how you can create multiple values. Say save and close. Now we created lookup value called as one of the pay group name. Now we will assign this pay group to our supplier. Okay, we created pay group by using the lookup, functionality, lookup page, and that we need to assign to supplier. And go to supplier. Go to suppliers. And click on manage suppliers. Find our supplier, Amex Corporation. Just click on edit. And we are at site level. Click on edit. Now, so go to, we are at site level. Okay, we are at site level. Under site, go to invoicing tab. Go to invoicing tab. So here you can specify the pay group. So with this supplier site, if you create an invoice, for that invoice, automatically system will map the pay group what you select here. We'll see that in the system. So what is the pay group you created? Let's type here. It is not fetching, we'll search. So this is a pay group you give it. Okay, you given pay group. Now say save and close. So we map pay group to the supplier. This supplier we are treating as a foreign supplier, reality not, just for our testing purpose. So let's create invoices now. Let's create few invoices. Go to create invoice task. Here provide supplier information. Supplier is Amex Corp. And provide invoice number. Invoice amount 5,000. Now provide line information. System is defaulting the distribution set from supplier site. Accept. And go to invoice actions. And select manage installments. Now here you can notice system is taking the pay group as a ERP tree foreign. how it is taking. At supplier level, we specified for this site. Okay, for dollars level, the site level, we given pay group as the same. Since we created invoice with the same site, it is defaulting here. Okay, it is defaulting. If you want to change, yes, you can change. It is coming as a default from the site. If you want to change, you can change. There is no good reason to change. There is no reason to change, accept it. Now, so we are creating invoice. I'm taking here few columns, invoice number, pay group. So invoice number, here is the invoice number. For this invoice number, pay group is ER3 foreign. Let's try to understand this data. Now, here is another field called as invoice group. With this field, I can group multiple invoices also. I can group multiple invoices. Invoice group also you can use as criteria to process the payment. In the payment process request, you can give invoice group name, how many invoices are available with the same invoice group. Accordingly, system can fetch the invoices for payment. Now I'm giving so invoice group name as just today date. Today date I am taking as a invoice group. So okay. So date, month, and year that I am taking as invoice group. Today date I am taking as invoice group. So now I'll submit invoice for validation. This again I'll capture here. Now validate the invoice. Okay, let's create one more invoice. So click on save and create next. Of course, already we saved, but click on this. Now see, we are in the same session. Okay, we are in the same session. We are in the same page. So system is defaulting the same invoice group. If you want to change, you can change. Select supplier, invoice number, invoice amount, and I'm not using, I don't want to use pay group for this. I'll remove this. So save and close. So check no pay group for this. I'll complete invoice creation. Enter line amount and validate the invoice. Let's capture the data. No pay group, only we have invoice group. Let's create one more invoice. I don't want to use any invoice group. Sorry, 25. Now, system defaults pay group from the site that we are accepting, validate. Now, pay group is same pay group. no invoice group for this invoice. Now, so in the payment process request, when I'm submitting payment process request, if I select pay group called as ERP tree foreign, this pay group is associated with the two invoices, the first and the third. Only these two invoices system will select. Only these two invoices system will select. In the payment process request, if I select pay group called as this, I created pay group with the date. If I select it, this is associated with these two invoices. It will select these two. So if I select pay group and invoice group, this pay group and this invoice groups are associated with how many invoices, all the invoices it will select. That's how this criteria will work. Okay. So what you are selecting as a criteria when you are processing the payments means primarily this criteria will be useful to select the invoices. If I use criteria as a this pay group, only the pay group is associated with how many invoices, so only those invoices system will select as a first stage in the payment process request. From there it will build and format and conform. So that's how it is. So this is how we can use the pay group and invoice group. Invoice group to group the invoices. You may use that group for payment purpose also, but pay group for the purpose of payment only. Clearly the name is here, pay purpose. Yes, you can group the invoices. Purpose could be payment purpose or any other purpose. Just every day, what are the invoices you create, you want to maintain as a group, because there is no invoice batch functionality in the Fusion. If you see EBS, we have a batch. You can create all invoices in batch. Similar to that, they are given grouping here with a simple one field. You may just use this field for grouping the invoices. When you are paying, you may pay for entire group, or else you may pay one by one invoice, doesn't matter. But to group invoices, we have a invoice group field. That's it. So you can give the different name also when you are grouping. Generally, if you say create next, we are in the same session, it will just, okay, we removed for previous and we saved it's not fetching. Ideally, it will default. You may give the different invoice group also. That's how it is. So we'll see, like when you are processing the payments, we'll see how it works. Okay, just try to understand. So pay group purpose is to group the invoices. Accordingly, you can process the payment. So if you want to create pay groups, that you can create from the lookups. So we have seen what does it mean by lookups. For every application, Oracle is providing the lookups. What you see the predefined values in the different pages as a part of standard product. Those all Oracle created by using lookups only. Few lookups you can add the values. Most of the lookups you cannot add the values. So which lookup you can add the value? Best example is pay group. For pay group, you can add additional values so that you can use for payment purpose as a criteria. So when you talk about invoice group, it is not related to lookup, etc. It's a dynamic field where you can use when you create the invoices. And again, you can group the invoices by using the invoice group field. And it could be pay group or invoice group, or there are a lot of criteria, payment methods, supplier. This is all you can use as a invoice selection criteria when you process the payments by using payment process request. By using payment process request, you can use as a criteria. When you talk about payment process request, these are the 4 steps. These are the 4 steps. System will select, then system will build, then it will format, and it will confirm. Okay. So these are the 4 steps process, and we have a variety of the criteria. So this is what you have to understand. Okay. So we will execute this payment process request. Okay. Short name is PPR. Okay, we'll execute it in the tomorrow session. Okay. So please capture each and every point, read multiple times. Okay. Just give the presentations, very important. So the guys who are attending this batch who are in the 100% job guarantee program, okay, today at 2 p.m. we'll have a rapid round. It will go up to 6 o'clock, 2 to 6 p.m. Okay, we'll have a rapid round. Please don't miss. Okay, please don't miss that session. So 2 to 6 today. That is a note for the guys. So that's all for today. Okay, we'll catch up tomorrow same time. And any questions, please. Now you can unmute and ask your questions. Any questions? Great. No questions.
Lakshman, do we have a future dated payment also?
We discussed, right? Have you attended?
I think I might have missed.
Then you should go through, please.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it's not like yesterday, day before yesterday, more than week ago. Yeah.
No.
See, when you are okay with the previous classes, then you can take more from the current classes what you attend. Yeah. If you missed, please don't note as you missed. You complete later so that you can just take more advantage. Just to answer your question, yes, we discussed also the concept you call as bills payables. Okay, we discussed about all the AP concepts, right? In one of the session, we discussed all the AP concepts. There we discussed. See here, you can find bills payables. We discussed is the future dated payments. You can call as PDC, post dated checks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, can you upload the video soon?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Fine. See, sometimes it may take some late, something we have to remove here and there. Some in the end of the session, like if some sort of discussions are not required, I may remove. So that is sometimes it may take some time, but you don't expect video immediately. I'll try to share immediately. Okay. But if you are not able to, please give some time. Yeah. The reason is you are the one every day you are following up with the emails. Every day I get email from your side. You mentioned like I need to attend.
Actually, I'm missing
I do
the
understand. I do understand.
notes.
I do
It's
understand.
fast now. That's
Considering
why.
that point only, I'm just putting this request. Yes, we are ready to upload as soon as possible. If there is a reason, it takes some time. So that's how it is. Yeah, fine. So any other questions from anyone, please? Any questions? Oh, I think it went on mute. Yeah, please. Any questions from anyone, please? No questions. Yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow, same time. Thank you.